Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MBA Tour Spotlight Women in Business. Today's topic is career opportunities for female MBAs in management consulting, the hot or the golden grail, holy grail for people, for a lot of you who are considering an MBA program. So welcome, everyone. My name is Fazila. I'm with the admissions team from Asia School of Business. We are a brand new 5-year-old business school located in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, where the sun always shines and sometimes it rains. And with me today is one of our amazing alumna, Vy Nguyen. She's a consultant currently with the renowned McKinsey and Company. She is located in Vietnam. Currently, she is logging in to be with us from a project that she's working on in the northern part of the country, several hours away from her hometown, Ho Chi Minh City. So welcome. Thank you so much, Vy, for making the time. I know it's a busy week for you, but we're always happy to see some of our alums, and technology is great because we get to talk to you even though you're so far away.
Yeah, thanks for having me here, Fazila.
So on just a quick introduction about ASB, we are a collaboration between Bank Negara Malaysia, which is the Central Bank of Malaysia, and MIT Sloan School of Management. Yes, is that MIT is Massachusetts Institute of Technology, located in Cambridge, Massachusetts, the United States of America. And together they established the Asia School of Business. The agreement was signed in 2015. So now we're I'm not really correct. It's more like we're 6 years old now. So we are combining the best of Western education with the energy and ambition of Asia. So we hope to be a talent magnet and multiplier in the region. And this is our mission. We would love to become a premier school of management, to develop transformative and principled leaders for the advancement of the emerging world, especially in Asia. So this is a key hallmark of what you'll learn while you're at ASB. The MBA program is a combination of sharp skills, all the skills that you need to get the job done, finance, accounting, economics, and what have you, but we also intertwine them with a lot of smart skills. These used to be called soft skills, but there's nothing soft about them. They're pretty important, especially if you want to become a management consultant. So you have to like leaderships, communications, creativity, and problem solving. And there's always about having a growth mindset as well. So here's another key differentiator of our action learning of our MBA program, which is the action learning component. So these are essentially like mini consulting projects there, I dare say, where our students go into teams to host companies to solve real business problems every semester. So the first project is always in Malaysia, but we can definitely expand beyond the borders of Malaysia, usually in the second project. And it can take place anywhere in Southeast Asia. So our students are not just sitting pretty in class, they do have the chance to apply what they learn in the classroom in the context of real business settings. And for the summer associate project, what is commonly known in other business schools as the internship, the summer internship, that can take place anywhere in the world. We can help locate for you internships all over the region, all over the world, or you can source some projects on your own with our help, of course. So we've done projects in 26 countries with over 145 hosts, and these are like 286 projects, and the majority of these projects are repeat customers. They like our student team so much that they come back for more. So this is a kind of a short overview of what the ASB MBA curriculum looks like. It's action-based. We have the many consulting projects that I spoke about. They are, but different to what we went through. Her program was a 5-semester program. But now, beginning this term, we have the option of shortening it to 4 semesters. So it could be a 16 months program as well. And you have the entrepreneurship track kind of going on almost throughout the entire MBA program. But you also have the action learning as well. And if you notice in semester 3, that's where things get a little bit exciting because all of our students fly out to MIT Sloan School of Management for a month to take classes with professors. And then right after that, they start their summer associate project, which is the traditional summer internship project that I mentioned before. So some people like to complete their MBA in 4 semesters, and some people would like the extra runway and to recruit for jobs after the MBA, as well as maybe explore a project during their final semester. So some people opt for the 20-month option. So here we are. This is V. V is one of our, like I said, amazing alumna from the class of 2021, graduated this year. I remember being in an interview with her I think it was Professor Renato, right, V?
Yes, yes. And he was asking me questions about oil and gas.
Of course, because that's his specialty. And yeah, it was a really great interview, and we're really happy to have you as part of the cohort. So thank you for the pictures you sent me, V. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about these pictures?
Yeah, sure. So maybe before I go into the background of like these pictures,
Mhm.
I will just go briefly like about myself. So yeah, I joined the school in 2019 as at that point of time I was in oil and gas. So I spent 6 years as a field engineer working offshore, and then like moving to the office and starting to handle projects. But I think like up to a certain point of time I thought that like it's time for me to actually like do an MBA and understand more about business. And yeah, I think the decision of going to Asia School of Business was really like changed my life because I get to meet a lot of new people, as you can see in the photos. So these are the photos that we took before COVID. So like the first one was when we just wrapped up our very first action learning project, and then like the one in the middle is when we celebrated Chinese New Year in like early 2020, right before COVID hit. And also at that point of time, I was the president of the sports club. So we also managed to organize like a futsal tournament that you can see over here. So like I think apart from all these photos, why I mentioned it was like really changed my life is because I get to also explore a lot of new industries through the action learning projects. I was working with Lazada for like e-commerce projects. I got to know more about fintech. I actually did a few fintech projects throughout my time at the school, and yeah, most importantly, I get where I am today as a management consulting in McKinsey. So yeah, so I think that was like pretty much some highlights of my journey, and really happy to be here.
Well, thank you so much, V. So I was like kind of I think we were chatting before, you mentioned that when you came into business school, you weren't planning on, some people come into business school, they're like super hyper focused and they're like, I'm going to work with one of the MBBs, McKinsey, Bain, or BCG. And they're like hyper focused from the beginning. But it wasn't that way for you, was it? You had other plans in the beginning?
Yeah. Actually, like to be very honest, when I first came in, I didn't really have like a very clear plan of where I want to go into. I was really open to any of the industries. So I know I wanted to do something that is faster paced, like because I was from oil and gas, which is very established and very regulated. So I wanted to go into some industries that have a faster clock speed, so hence like I was working on projects in like e-commerce or fintech, as I mentioned earlier. and I was actually focusing more on getting um, product management roles in tech companies before I decided like to change like 180 degree to go into consulting. So I think like the event that really changed me was the Next Generation Women's Leader event organized by McKinsey. So I was chosen for that event, and it was basically a few days workshop and selected through like almost 3,000 applicants
Wow.
of Asia, and there were around like 200 of us who were chosen. So I think that event was the ones that really make me rethink, and I think that management consulting is also something like I can try. And from that point onward, I decided like to spend more time, like dedication into case interview and also behavioral interviews.
So when was that event held? Was that in the summer between your first year and your second year, or was it closer to graduation?
Yeah, it was actually during the time when I was having the summer associate program. So it was in August last year, and yeah, it happened like really fast.
Oh my goodness. And then you're just like, hey, this is something that I would love to try and probably would be good at. So what were your next steps after that, after your realization that you wanted to pursue this seriously?
Yeah, so I decided like because I wanted to go into this, so I think I need to do something that is like non like like unconventional, a little bit unconventional, in order to kind of like get myself more visible to recruiters. So I decided to write an article about my experience in the event itself. And after that, I got a lot of like new connections, and also I got an invitation to apply for the position with McKinsey after the article on LinkedIn. And yeah, but I mean like it was just like the first step to get to the first round, right? But um, during the whole time preparation for all the interviews, I really go full force into it because I knew I started kind of late. So I need to like really accelerate my like my preparation.
What did you do what was your game plan into preparing for all of these interviews?
Mm. Yeah, so I started to connect and talk to the seniors who are already in McKinsey. So we have a few of them in ASB, and also connected to the consultants who are already working at Vietnam office in order to like to know more about their life. And I basically asked for a few you know case prep sections with them, and ask for their tips on how they actually did it before. So basically, that's what I'm doing right now for the junior classes as well. And yeah, I've been like helping my classmates, or and also the 2022 batch who is like currently in their job search period. So yeah, and also like in ASB we also have the case coach assess, where you can get to connect with people who are interested to practice all over the world. So I just connect with them and find some of the good partners to practice on cases. And I did around like 2 to 3 cases per day for 1.5 months continuously.
That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, on top of all the classes that we
Yeah.
had. Yes.
Classes, exams, and at that point there was the lockdown as well, right? And oh,
Yes.
you had your action learning project and things like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it was not really locked down yet, but yeah, it was like with all the on the projects and exam.
Yeah, and I remember like your project. Yeah, during the actual learning project, there was your Vietnamese coffee project.
Yes, yes, it's like the entrepreneurship project.
Yeah.
And yeah, I still remember we tried to organize the whole event in the school, even though I was like far away. I was in another city, and like I was just connecting with everyone through Zoom. Yeah, like you as well. I was like
Yeah.
connecting
Yeah, I
with
was
you.
there. That's why I remember the coffee was great, by the way.
Thanks.
So wow. So it's like a month and a half, 2 to 3 cases a day, and you connected with people from the case connect as well as the seniors. So it was intense. Um, so during that time, was that before the interview period? So not long after that, then they started the rounds of interviews.
Yes, yes. So we had like the CV's training, and then like we have a digital assessments where actually it's like more like playing games for the McKinsey assessments. But like they use kind of like AI to actually track your critical thinking and all the movements when you play the games to assess your ability to think and like to go through all the data. So from there, then I moved into all the case interviews. So there was like 2 rounds of case interviews, and within 2 rounds there were total 5 interviews. So yeah, uh, the during the first round and the second round, I really had a lot, um, a lot more practices, and it was like really intense.
And then towards the latest part of the interview process, you didn't have time to practice more, or it was you already practiced enough, you felt sort of.
Yeah, I think it really depends on like each individual. So I know some people who are just like like just need to do around 10 cases or even less than 10 cases, but they already get like how to do a good case. Basically, like they're already very good at it, or like someone who has a lot of knowledge in all the industries is a big advantage for them as well. So it's really like an individual case by case type of preparation. So you need to like know it by yourself. So for myself, I did a lot of practices like continuously, but towards the interview day, I decided to just take a break because I feel otherwise I will be very exhausted by the time that the real interview comes. So 1 week before, I just like totally took a break, and I the day before the interview, I just went through all the notes again without doing any more cases.
So I guess at that point, whatever you've learned is kind of percolating in your mind, is already is there ready to be used. So you just needed to have the energy, right, to make the
Yeah.
change. Okay. And what advice would you give to someone who is considering this path? I know you said that felt you started late. Is there an advantage to start earlier, or maybe there are other tips that you would like to share?
Yeah. So yes, I've seen a lot of people who comes into business school like very determined to go into MBB or any other consulting firms. So I think some of the advices that I would give is definitely number one to really think before you actually like dedicate all the time, all the effort into this, like whether consulting is something that you want to do. Like, are you going to really like is something is a career path that will give you a lot of things. You get like a very steep learning curve and good income, and you get to travel the world, get to get work with smart people, but also need to consider on the other hand the time commitment and like um the you have very limited opportunities to be spent with your family and whether it suits the lifestyle or not. So that's definitely number one. Yeah, number two, in terms of practices, I think a lot of people focuses more on case practice
Mhm.
and not behavioral practices. So that's something to keep in mind, that behavioral interviews are very important, especially when you go to um, the final rounds of interview where you interview with the partners, because they are the one who will focus more on the behavioral interviews.
Mm.
They are the one who decide, like, through these behavioral interviews they will know whether they should put you in front of clients or not. So yeah, so that's tips number two. And number three is in terms of case practices. um, I think it's very important to get good feedback, not only to do a lot of cases, but to get good feedback, to take notes of those feedbacks and focus on that. So basically, for myself, because I came from an engineering background, I knew that I had more advantage when it comes to like quantitative part or calculations. So I focused more on other parts, like do the structuring or like synthesis of ideas where I'm not very good at. So yeah, so be very strategic about that as well.
Do you think if someone took the GMAT or GRE test, would it be helpful for them? Or did you have to present a GMAT test score to apply? That's the other question. I guess I'm asking two questions.
Yeah, so I didn't take any GMAT or GRE um, in the application.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people did that, and like if they come from other, like some of the other business schools who required GMAT, they would have already been doing that.
Mhm.
But even if like without those like GMAT, um, is not the most important thing. Like in my point of view, as long as you communicate in a structured way, as long as you laid out your calculations in like in a way that the interviewer can actually follow and guide you. Yeah, that's good enough.
I see. So in a sense, your engineering background actually helped you a lot in that way because of the structured and very clear way of dissecting and presenting solutions, right?
Hmm.
Mm.
But yeah, I think like, but to add on to that, because like someone asked me before that he or she doesn't have a quant background, and like was not really in like dealing with a lot of data before, so whether he or she can be a good candidate. So as I mentioned just now, it was is not only about the calculation part, but also in terms of structure, you can actually have a much better structured way of thinking through on the case practices. And especially for someone, if like you try to integrate this case structuring into your daily life to
Mm.
make it a habit, you can actually like it can be built. And then secondly, on the idea synthesis as well. So like I might be good at the calculations, but I was not very good at like synthesize new ideas. So yeah, so you might be strong at that. So it's about like balancing and working on the weaknesses.
I get you. I get you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I learned quite a few things from your experience and your sharing. Thank you so much, V. I'm just going to move over for a bit. But any final words before I go over to what the application is about?
I just want to say like first, for Asia School of Business, I really enjoy my journey,
Mhm.
and yeah, I think it was like a very good decision for me. And if anyone is interested in like either ASB or to go into management consulting, I'm very happy to connect.
Thank you so much, V. I feel like you're always been a vital part of the community while at ASB, and you're continuing to be an important part of us, even though you've already graduated and you're in another country. And I hope borders open up and we can see each other in person soon.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna flash this slide. So our minimum requirements are you have a bachelor's degree or equivalent. We do accept ACCA as an equivalent. Minimum 2 years work experience, proof of English language proficiency. That is important if your bachelor's degree was not taught in English. And we do have two MBA programs. One is the full-time program that we went through. The first round already has passed, but there's always a second and a third round. And for the MBA for working professionals, round one is in March, the deadline, and June 15th is the second round deadline for the MBA for working professionals. So if you're interested, that's all the QR codes, our Instagram, our Facebook, our LinkedIn. LinkedIn is good. And that's what I'm getting from your experience, V. And if you'd like to schedule a call with me, please feel free to schedule a call with myself or the broader admissions team. And there's also some of our students are on our website. There'll be a pop-up at the right-hand corner of our website whereby you can talk to a student ambassador or alumni to learn more about their experience at ASB. So yep, that's it pretty much for today. Thank you very much for watching. So I hope all of you stay safe, keep in touch. Thank you so much, V, for making the time in the middle of the night. Right now, her time is 11:35. In Vietnam, in Malaysia, is 12:35 a.m. So thank you so much. And I hope you get a good rest for the rest of your busy week in the project.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I hope to see you soon. Take
Yeah.
care.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Take care. Bye, Fabiola.
Bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.